I got a lot of really great conversations and the principal walks in and no one wants to raise your hand. Why?
Yeah, you sound like you're learning something.
To show that we do things.
All right, we're live.
All right, thank you very much. All right, it is 7:01 and I now call to order the 2021 regular meeting of the City of College Place City Council. May we please take roll call?
Mayor Hernandez,
Present.
Councilmember Jessup,
President?
Councilmember Espinoza,
President?
Councilmember Williams,
Present.
Councilmember Sherman,
Present.
Councilmember Boyle,
Present.
and Councilmembers Cleveland and Peterson have asked to be excused. We do have a quorum.
Perfect, thank you. Please join me with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now time for public comment. Jerry, did anyone submit a comment in advance?
I did not receive any comments.
Okay, I'm assuming the person who's here in the audience live does not want to make a public comment. Anybody online that might like to make a public comment or on the phone?
There is no one in the attendees list.
All right, then let's move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of tonight's agenda, July 25th, 2023, council meeting minutes from July 11th, 2023, the appointment of Steve Owen to the Lodging Tax Advisory Commission, yay, the cybersecurity plan, and excusing the absence of council members Peterson and Cleveland.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
There's a second? Perfect. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it, the motion is passed. We do not have any presentations today, nor do we have any public hearings, but we do have a few action items. There's 3 of them on tonight's agenda. The first action item is Autumn Meadows roadway reconstruction. Mr. Carlton is going to present on that.
Thank you, Mayor. So back in January 10th of 2023, council approved the establishment of the local improvement district for Autumn Meadows. As part of that work, what was done about a year and a half ago was a deficiency analysis when Autumn Meadows requested of council to approve assumption of the infrastructure in Autumn Meadows. That's in the attachment at the end, the deficiency analysis. As part of that is to repave sections of the road. You bring up the diagram. Not the deficiency analysis, there's another, just the
Map.
map. So this item is to pave sections of the road that are identified, that are kind of highlighted in that go around the outside of the subdivision. That includes the Southeast Fellow Drive, Southeast Trent Drive, Southeast Sarita Drive, Moorbrook Court, and Southeast Newgate Court cul-de-sac. In the deficiency analysis, it identified the cost to repair at $232,950. And of course, that was done a while ago. It hit, quite a bit of inflationary costs in that time frame. So it was put out to bid. We received 2 bids, one from Central Washington Asphalt at $244,641 and Humboldt Asphalt at $227,991. The bids include removal of the old asphalt grading, placing 4-inch HMA and 2 lifts on all those sections I just spoke about, and matching the grade, and then adjusting utilities to match the grade. We did include a 20% contingency in this in this project, so that's $44,000, bringing the total to 265. The reason we put 20% contingency in there is because typically when we do a road project like that, it's engineered. But this project, they decided not to engineer it and just to go with the bids. So they wanted to put a little extra contingency in case there's any problems, extra base rock or, you know, some issues with the roadways. So that total that we're requesting is $265,000. Included in the cost to correct was the $232,950. So if it comes in at the bid amount, then we'll actually be under what was in the assessment. We have also spent this year, the ADA ramps was also in the deficiency analysis, and that came in at $62,850, and there was $44,000 included in the deficiency analysis, so a difference of $18,850. But I believe in the deficiency analysis, I'm not sure if it does say that if the actual costs exceed the amount that's in the deficiency analysis, then that will be charged. According to Mike, we'll charge what it actually costs us to do the required repairs to bring it up to standard.
That's correct.
So is there any questions?
Go to council members for any questions. Councilmember Jessup,
Oh, thank you.
Councilmember Espinosa,
No questions?
Councilmember Williams,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Sherman.
I'm just looking for a total, so I know how much my property tax.
My
Actually,
lid.
It won't be, the county would not allow us to put it on the property taxes.
Then how do we pay it?
So we'll do an assessment at the end.
Mhm.
Well, we've done the assessment, and that was based on the dollar amount that was in the efficiency analysis.
Right.
But what we'll do is we'll do a recalculation of that, and then we will charge each home in the area their portion of the amount of the
So we
deficiency.
just pay you directly. You're
You
just
could
gonna
pay us
separate
lump
bill.
sum, or you have an option to pay it out over 20 years, up to 20 years.
But it's just not part of our property taxes?
No, it will not.
Cool.
County would not.
So I wanna know how much I have.
Would not do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting.
Councilmember Boyle, sorry, it's just, I'm like, I was looking at Reeves, like, who am I supposed to call? My apologies.
It's tough to stay quiet.
Is there any other discussion? It's hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to award the Autumn Meadows Road resurfacing project to Humbert Asphalt and Rock Products not to exceed $265,000.
Thank you. There's a second.
Second, Councilmember Williams.
Wonderful. Any discussion before we vote? All right, then let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The motion is passed. Next is the facility needs assessment for police and public works. Mr. Carlton, you are still up.
Thank you, Mayor. In the capital facility plan this year, council approved an analysis of the replacement of the police building. That was in the capital facility plan for $34,400. Also combined in that, we also had in the capital facility plans improvements to both facilities of just over $927,000 for 2023. They've kind of stepped back on the needs for the public utility yard, and that they want to do this assessment to see what's most cost effective, either fixing what's currently at that location. You know, those buildings are old and they don't have enough room and it's poorly organized, plus it's in the water tower yard. So they really want to look at, do a needs assessment and look at options as far as location and what's needed and a cost. Combined with that would include the looking at the police station options as well. They did solicit RFQs on the project, and 2 firms submitted, Meyer Architects and Design and Design West. Those were scored according to criteria. I wasn't involved in the scoring, so I don't have the criteria in front of me. But Design West met the highest amount in the categories, and they've given us a fee proposal of fixed cost, in which includes $34,400 for the police analysis and $21,300 for public works yard. And then what they'll do is there's a charge of $3,600 for up to 5 site analysis for each. That means they'll look at locations for 5 different sites that we pick that we feel, I don't know if they pick them or we pick them, but there's 5 sites for each location looked at in their analysis. And then they'll come back with us with their recommendations with anticipated costs. So currently and then they put in a 15% contingency on that cost, and they're wanting, I believe it's $70,000 to do the needs assessment.
Okay. Councilmember Jessup, questions?
At the moment, thank you.
Councilmember Espinosa?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. When we were given a tour, Councilmember Jessup and I, Mike gave us a tour of the facilities building, and I later got to tour the police building. They definitely need to be upgraded. They're old, dilapidated in many instances. So I think this is very timely to look into improving both the police and also facilities. So I think this is a great move in the right direction.
Councilmember Sherman?
No question. Okay, no.
Councilmember Williams?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Boyle?
No questions. Thanks.
I have a quick question, and you may not know, Brian, but do you know for, where our current police station is at? Well, no, those aren't the chicken coops. Chicken coops are where the public works is, at, right?
Yeah, it's an old duplex.
The old duplex, okay.
Just converted.
Do you know if there's any discussions of like raising that building and building there, on the municipal campus, or do you think everything's looking outside of the campus?
I believe they're looking outside the campus. There's a couple location Mike's has mentioned to me, but I don't know if it's appropriate to
He hasn't,
mention those.
Right,
he
no,
has
that's fine.
mentioned something, but I don't remember. So
Sure, no, that's fine, it was just for mention. Okay, I was just wondering.
You don't even remember.
I
I don't-
think looking at this spot was one of the options, but that might not be the case anymore.
I just like having all things on the campus, it's, I don't know, it seems fun.
Yeah, and Mike has definitely got some inroads into looking at potential funding help on those projects.
Sure,
And of course, if you look at the capital facility plan in 2025, there is $12.5 million in the capital facility plan for the police station. And he got that number because that's what West Richland's new police station cost.
we did, share those requests, Mike and I, we were at DC last week. And we did share the requests, and the needs for the police station and the public works, at all 3 senators that we went to go see, the offices, their legislative directors. And we also talked about it with, USDA. And one other one. Oh. It might have been the EPA, which was really weird, but I think it was with the EPA, because they also have a program where that fits in. So we had quite a few good discussions, and I feel pretty confident that we could get some assistance in the funding that cover the cost of this.
Yeah, and the balance of the police station would be a public voted bond issuance. So that would go against your property taxes. If you're in college.
Any other discussions? All right, do we have a motion on this?
Move to authorize Public Works Director to approve and sign architectural agreement for professional services with Design West Architects to complete facility needs assessment for public police and public works.
Second.
Thank you, council members. Is there any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Should we include the dollar amount here in the motion?
Yes.
Or not?
Let me take a look at how it's reading.
That should be in the amount.
Oh, you're right, it's not on there. Yep, I would recommend.
Not to exceed,
Mhm.
so I'll amend to not to exceed 70,000 on this motion.
Thank you. Can you still second it, Paul?
Yes, second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right, let's see, next we have Mr. Cota de la Cruz, who will present on the interagency agreement for pollution prevention and assistance program.
You get closer.
Step right, step on, have one of those seats right there. Sit right on, not step right on, there you go, sit right on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laurencio Cota, and I'm with the Stormwater Department. I'm the Stormwater Technician, and I want to talk to you guys about the stormwater agreement with the pollution prevention assistant. It was already in place when I came into the position. It's pretty much spreading the gospel of waste management with businesses and source control. Sorry, this is my first time.
So far, so good. It's just us.
Going fine.
So, we got a grant for $63,016.97. It includes, business visits, around 80. And we're promoting good housekeeping, walkthroughs through the businesses. And so good, checking out for illicit connections, proper permits, waste storage, and also stormwater education and enforcement of permit. Pretty much, and it's also not, it's a non-regulatory, entity.
Yes.
So it's voluntary, so they can opt out from the visits. But when you talk to them and say that you're coming with the city or ecology, sometimes people, think, although it's voluntary. So, yeah, the main focus, for the city would be landscaping, automotive and restaurants. We offer resources, funding, training and, standardizing guidance. We also provide equipment and product replacement for the PPA. So.
All right,
And if I can add, this is for 2-year period.
Yeah. We'll go with the 2020.
And it's 100% grant.
great, no, that's great. All right, questions or comments?
Thank you.
Councilmember Espinosa, none? Councilmember Williams?
I just want to comment that this is really important work. We have so many new regulations come along that people who aren't directly involved with it have no idea what's going on. And so having people that can go out and explain without giving tickets is just incredibly important, because you can't expect everybody to keep up with, just like I don't keep up with all the tax laws. You can't expect businesses to all keep up with what you should do for pollution prevention. So I just really want to support this.
Councilmember Sherman?
No, I'll echo that. I know the state has also started some new educational arms in working with various industries that don't need to be named, that providing the education and going out. And it is a struggle to get people to understand, no, I'm not here to give you a ticket or cite you or whatever, but I'm your resource. Ask me the questions and let's figure out the answers together. And for the people who, those relationships that you build or whichever team is going out to meet with them is what makes it a better community for everyone. And then the word gets out like, no, Lorenzo's a cool guy. Let's ask him that question and make sure we're doing it right. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I try to make a point that I'm there to help and we're there to assist and help out and instead of being an authority. And so that helps us out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
No questions, but thank you guys for all of this.
I have one question, I just have, so it says a total of 80 businesses are required to have, or 80
Business,
business visits, so it's not 80 businesses, it's just 80 visits. Is
correct.
that correct? Do you see any problem with reaching that?
No, because it'll include 46% would be initial visits, as in like a contact, come and say, hey, I'm Laurencio, I'm here to, I promote the PPA, and they say, maybe can you do a different day? And that'll be your first visit. The initial one will be the actual walkthrough. I'm sorry, I'm confusing that. The first visit will be the contact, and the initial visit will be the one that you actually walk through the
Okay.
business and do all that other stuff, and
And that counts.
yeah, that's the one I
Okay. Just want to make sure that it wasn't overreaching for the small department that you have.
Yeah, it's a small town, but we can do it.
Okay, excellent. All right, if there's no additional discussions, do we have a motion?
I would like to move to authorize the city administrator to sign interagency agreement for pollution prevention assistance program. Councilmember Williams.
I'll second.
Great. Any additional discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Excellent job.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Super nervous.
Now you broke it in.
He's my across the hall office mate.
Oh, fun.
This is my base behavior.
Thank you. It was very helpful. You did great.
Someday we want to see the real you, if this is your best behavior.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
You did great.
Am I dismissed?
Thank you. Yes,
You're welcome to stay.
you're welcome to stay. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
I would, but
It's
Any further, you're
It's
okay.
just me talking now, so you hear too much.
you're all good.
Yeah.
It's actually my wife's birthday.
Oh,
Birthday.
Tell her happy birthday from the city council and the mayor.
We'll do, I'll let her know.
All right.
see you tomorrow.
See you.
Thanks. All right, so we have administrative reports next, and Ms. Colwell's right. But all her, it's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be all her turn, so it's just administrative reports on, what is there, 3 different
There's
items?
3 different ones. We'll plow through these pretty quickly. The city, we revised our nuisance code in 2021 to really kind of streamline everything into one spot. So if people said, can I do this? Can I do that? They could look at the nuisance code, which is in chapter 8.24. And so part of that, we captured any noise nuisance within the nuisance code. So we need to just repeal our noise code that was adopted in 1990. So I will,
So we have to repeal the old one,
so that
because
we
we already replaced it.
right. And it just was one of those, we wanted to get everything into one code. There probably are gonna be some more cleanups as I have time, but this is the big one so that people know what they can get.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, any questions or comments for Ms. Colwell on this? Nothing from Melanie? No hand raised?
We
Okay.
did, I will comment, we do sometimes get questions about construction work that happens before 7 and usually it's before 7 and not after 10. And those are kind of our quiet hours. The new code that we had in 2021 requires that quiet time unless the city allows it. So when it's super hot out, and we get a complaint about construction starting before 7 a.m., that's our policy that it's due to the heat. So,
That makes sense.
and we haven't had any construction person abuse that I'm aware of. So if you get questions from the public, we do, there's some.
It's a safety issue, right? It's a
Yeah.
health and safety issue. So that makes complete sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that'll probably be the next council meeting. Next is, what's next?
It's the Christ Community Fellowship.
Ah, yes, so, this is a proposed agreement. So what happened, and I'm not sure if you had time to review, especially for the new people, the quick facts that was included in information about why we have a new well. And, part of the agreement, well, CCNF, they got notice that their, potable water, from their well was no longer, good enough, nitrates or something. I think that Department of Health said you can't use it anymore. And so the Department of Health reached out to the city and said, hey, do you want to work with CCNF to get water to them? Well, we had a well fail and another one almost fail. I wish Council Member Peterson were here because we're talking about wells. So
That's his thing, right?
and so that project was completed. Now they are going to redevelop their property to build an additional rectory, and they are going to transfer the property used by the school to the school. So they've requested that we provide additional water service. And we spoke with Robert McAndrews to make sure that it was something that we could do in our water system, and we can. We're also going to get the benefit of having that land deeded over to us where the well is located. It won't be just an easement. They also asked us not to accelerate the loan because they agreed to pay $75,000 over monthly installments. And we think that that is appropriate. They paid every month. And they made that request. We think it's appropriate unless anyone on council has any concerns about that. They were also required to file a security for the $75,000 on the property. They did not do that. And our recommendation is also going to be that we don't require them to do that. They've been paying regularly, and we trust that they'll continue to pay that. And that we can enforce that through the contract without having to, foreclose on their property or anything like that. So any questions?
And Councilmember Jessup.
So the CCF is going to make another well or another easement pipeline into the city for their own new building.
That's correct. There'll be a new pipeline, and most likely there'll be additional water for fire hazard, and that will be their responsibility to develop that to pay for
And
that.
then they're gonna give the whole well area, not give, but it's gonna.
Transfer it to the city.
To the
Yep.
city. And then what's the third party with the CP school district?
Yes. I think that they are going to either transfer or lease additional property. Now that I might have the school district wrong, it might be Liberty, is it Liberty that's out there, Lincoln, Liberty? So that might be it.
Oh.
It might be
the
Liberty.
The Liberty is on Pepper Bridge, right there.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So
so it's
that's a
probably,
typo.
it's probably them,
Yep.
so CP, okay.
Yep. You're like, where are we going? Yeah, I just put school and I thought that, so and the proposed contract right now is in their hands to review.
Cool. Thanks, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's confusing. I didn't get that.
That clarification is helpful. Councilmember Espinosa.
Yeah, for me, as I look at the terms, like the debt to be paid over 20 years at 2%, that is very reasonable. So I'm glad we're able to accommodate for the needs of other people, because other schools might be in a difficult situation financially with enrollment and other things, or offerings tied, whatever. So I think it's a really reasonable move by the city. So I think that's great.
Councilmember Williams.
I'm totally cool with this. I remember when they really helped us out back in the day, so I think it's great. And I do like the idea of us owning that rather than just an easement.
Yep.
Yep.
Councilmember Sherman.
No, it just gave me shivers when I saw CCF on the agenda again, but we had so many meetings back in the day.
No.
But no, it's this is good,
Yeah, well, it's really nice. They approach us very early and.
Yeah. which they did last time. Yeah, just codes.
Good neighbors.
Yeah.
Councilmember Boyle.
No questions. Thanks.
I do have another question, just for, why? For what reason would we accelerate the loan?
Let's say, for instance, if they sold the property
Okay,
and they, you know,
we'd say, okay,
We'd
gotta
say,
pay it off,
all right,
don't you, but,
yeah.
okay. Okay, I was just wondering why that even came up.
yep,
Okay,
And the interest rate's so low is because at the time that was signed, interest rates were down that low. So,
still, they're a community,
yeah.
Yeah.
so it's
I
good
don't-
that it's not now.
yeah, I think it's fair and keep helping with the clean water over there.
definitely.
Okay. All right, perfect. Next is Whitman College Fellowship Program.
Yep, this is just to inform council that we applied for the fellowship program. If we are accepted, we'll have a Whitman College student working 6 to 10 hours a week. And we're hoping to partner that. We also applied for a grant from State Archives. Is that right, Sherry? State Archives, I think.
The state archive.
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds right.
We won't know until August if we get that, but we're hoping that we'll have those two bodies to help us begin the process of organizing our physical files that we have, which are just kind of a jumble right now. Law enforcement, they have their records in order. Planning for the most part does, but and find out how many boxes of stuff you have in your office.
So the boxes and.
A lot of finance you have to keep forever, but yes, this is a really important project because when we get requests for records, people to look at public records, we have to search all of our files. A lot of records we only have to maintain for a certain period of time, so it'd be very helpful to destroy those. Some we send to the state archives, others we retain indefinitely, so.
Yeah, Mr. Carlson's office gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The back walls and the side walls seem to be closing in on him.
Yeah, so fingers crossed, hopefully.
All right, any questions or comments?
This is a curious question, nothing. How does it work with an intern like that in terms of dealing with public records and sensitive information and that kind of stuff?
My guess is most of what, unless it's finance, most of what we have, or my files with criminal history in them, most of what we isn't confidential. But that's a good point. We might have them agree to not disclose any information as we move through those. And who knows, there might be something confidential in those records.
Yeah. They just know any better either.
Yeah,
Well, all the financial records are public.
Right.
They're all on
Well,
the
that's true on
website.
that one, yes.
Yeah.
That's
So, like,
That's
the
true there.
finance side, there's really nothing that you could take that would provide anybody anything.
there's no.
As far as-
It's already on the website.
That's true on that point.
Here's an interesting.
Can I-
There's no account numbers and things like that.
Yeah,
And then criminal history would be the only other thing that would be in my files, so, yeah.
Okay.
This is Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
We do hire as a university, we hire students to sometimes deal with sensitive information. They have to be over 18, they have to have the same training as any other employee. As far as, what has to be confidential and what doesn't. So, basically we screen them, and if we think they're not going to be reliable, we don't hire them for those positions. But it's really no different than a clerk, as long as you train them properly.
Right, I think we'll have quite a big learning curve, just how the city operates, what documents we create, what the Public Records Act says. So that will take up a chunk of the time.
Be nice
Yeah,
to get
try to get a second year so they can do it for 3 years, and you don't have to keep
That's a
retraining
great
people.
idea. I'll see what I can do.
I hired a sophomore for my research assistant, and I do not regret it because
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, they're great workers, Whitman Fellows are. All right, so.
Just information. Let you know how it goes at a later meeting.
We'd love to meet them when have them?
No, it says they're gonna give a presentation.
Absolutely.
They're the city, or if we're accepted, we anticipate the village to present to city council.
Okay, perfect. All right, on to informational reports. There's two of them in your packet. Thank you. For your review. If you haven't done so already, please take a look at them. No executive session. Moving on to closing items. Is there anything, any other business for good of the order?
I would just like to let everybody know on council, we're right in the midst of converting our utility billing system to Tyler. They're doing it this week. So if you get questions about we're getting a lot of questions about people's auto pay under Express, because we're converting from Express to Tyler payments.
Oh,
But we're sort of in a transition point. And the way the process works is we have to get utility billing going, and then we can add on the Tyler payments after that. So we're looking at not having Tyler payments in until mid-August. So the timing is gonna be like really tight for people to get set up to have their auto pays and payments through Tyler payments. So if you get any questions, I'll give you a little bit of information on that. We're sort of handcuffed in how we can advance it. We can't send out any information yet because we're not set up with the Tyler payments yet.
Right.
So we can't put the cart in front of the horse. So we're getting a lot of calls. So if you get questions about it, then you can direct them to me, or
how do they know about it? Is it because we informed them that
Or
the,
express.
there was a letter that went out in the last couple of months in the newsletter, and also a note on the statements.
okay,
And we're not, we kind of made the policy. I think Brian did that. We're not shutting off any
Oh, yeah,
water
that's a second, yeah, it's
And-
services for the next 3 months.
through, July through September.
and no late fees? Do we charge?
No,
fees?
there's still late fees on people, we just don't shut their water off. They'll still get a red tag,
Okay,
and they'll still have to pay the fees, but then we won't shut their water off.
but they've had lots of time to be informed that the system's gonna be changed. and so
They don't
need to
know
be
about
ready.
the not turning the water off.
No, but they need to be, they've been informed that they need to be, expecting their auto pay to need to be redone.
Yes.
With the new platform.
But we just don't know exactly when that's gonna happen, so people are frustrated that they don't know when, and they're worried about their payment. So we're kind of going, well, I'm sorry, but we're sort of in a holding pattern till the Tyler payments gets initiated.
I'm concerned about, especially people may be gone on vacation or whatever. So is there some way that people can like prepay an estimate so we don't, and then we don't charge them a late fee or something if they're not? Because it sounds like there may be, okay, your bill is due on the 15th, but if you're away from the internet, you can't set up an automatic payment.
I think we're gonna keep the Express running in the interim. We have
Okay,
Stuff in the
Good.
back to help us with that. but
Transfer that over, okay.
Get the
Okay.
information uploaded for the new bills and what you owe.
I wanna go wherever Melody's talking about, that there's a place without internet. That sounds great.
no, I went there. I went there when I was going to a conference and I was supposed to teach my last class online, and then the internet didn't work. They
Where?
were like, oh yeah, we know.
That's great.
So the
So
way.
you
the
haven't lived
code-
until you've taught over the phone.
Oh, gosh.
The way our code is written, the late fee is mandatory.
Got it, okay. I see,
But
That
I
would make
imagine if somebody tries to pay and can't get it done, it's possible that would happen at some point and we'll
okay.
deal with it.
Yeah, we're supposed to have bills out tomorrow. It may be delayed a day or two, but
Are they gonna have I assume they're gonna have like an app payment, or not an app payment, but just like an email with
yeah,
Express?
it'll be the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah. And it's actually through the same company, Payment Tech.
okay,
It's actually called Express, but Express is actually owned by Payment Tech and Chase Bank. And we're using the same vendors. It's just not Express.
right, got it. Okay.
That's clear, right?
Yeah. Okay, any other business? Nothing else? Okay, do I have a motion to conclude the meeting?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. So if there's no objections, the meeting is concluded at 7:40 PM. Thank you.
Bye.